Well, no point sticking around here. Wellspring's not getting any closer. The vast water extraction facility. Confirm. Serafin! The shout echoes through the ship, reaching you in the cockpit. You see the angle of Serafin's head change, but he's not respond otherwise. You hear that? Serafin sighs. Yeah, I heard. He looks back at you. How about you go see what they want? They called you. Serafin shrugs. I'm busy flying the ship. Serafin! You recognize the voice now. It's Bliss. Moments later, they come into the cockpit. Is no one listening? Look between the two of you. I guess that means one of you is guilty. Bliss shakes her head. Come on, you need to see this. You follow the irritated Bliss through the ship, down into the cramped storage units, tucked between the main ship and the hull. As you enter, you're greeted by total chaos. Amber globs of liquid ration float in the air and cling to the walls, while chunks of dried food spin slowly, breaking into crumbs. See? Bliss fumes. Someone opened up one of the supply crates and left it like this. They point to a crate in the storage netting with the lid pushed open. You look at the mess spilling out from the crate. Who could have done this? We'll inspect the remains. You take a moment to pick through the food and find a torn open pouch of liquid rations. You turn in the light and see a set of evenly spaced gashes at the edge. Are those claw marks? Bliss puffs out their cheeks. I need a break from this ship. They look at you. Help me tidy this up. Spend the rest of the journey packing the crate away and disposing of the spoiled supplies. As you do, you can't help but wonder what actually happened here. When you're finished, you take one last look around the storage bay. As you gaze around the now cleared space, you have the same feeling of being observed by unseen eyes you felt in the tunnels of Holm's Rock. Oh shit. Something followed me onto the ship. As he brings the ship into Wellspring's docking ring, you notice a rare tension in Serafin's piloting. He jerks the stick a little too hard while the docking bridge extends. The proximity alarm goes off. He curses under his breath. Relax, it'll be okay. I've docked this ship 100 times, sleeper. He keeps his eyes on the monitors. I am relaxed. You know that's not what I mean. Serafin doesn't respond, but you see him grip the rig's controls a little tighter. As the ship stops, the docking bridge connected, you lean forward and look out of the cockpit windows, trying to get a good view of the icy surface of Wellspring below. The harsh, gleaming ice gives way to the steep sides of the cut, the asteroid's one city. It glows and steams with warmth, and peering down into it, you cannot see the bottom. Beyond, along the horizon, you see the terraces of the pit head, where the current extraction effort must be taking place. Serafin runs the shutdown sequence and unclips from his seat. He turns back to you, a flinty look in his eye. I'm gonna head down into the cut. I got a few leads to follow up on. You get the sense he isn't asking for permission. Fine by me. He nods, grunts, and glides out of the cockpit. You turn and watch as he pushes past Bliss in the doorway. Hey, miss something? Bliss shoots you a look. Seems even more irritable than usual. He's looking for his sister. Bliss raises an eyebrow. Family trouble. That'll explain the irritation levels. I would recommend they zip up their jacket. We go after him, before he pushes past someone that pushes back. Agreed. See you down there. At least Lane's unlikely to come out here to pick a fight with the Lodic Syndicate. Bliss shrugs. They turn and head towards the airlock, whistling softly as they do. Eugene comes out of a side door as Bliss passes. He stretches and squints at you. Permission to find a bar down there. He grins. Just joking. I know I don't need to ask. He winks and follows Bliss. I'll wait with the ship. Junie's voice echoes through the thin interior wall of the corridor. I've got Archive to catch up on. She pauses. There's nothing older than 1,000 cycles on that snowball anyway. Wellspring, the base of the Lodic Syndicate. As you look out across its icy surface, you remember Malik, the captain whose ship you saved, for whom you surveyed the ice asteroid. You also remember how he promised to repay you for your actions should you ever cross paths again. Perhaps Wellspring is a good place for you to make that happen. After all, if Serafin's sister is here, surely the Lodic Syndicate would be the best place to find her. Alright. We have really shit dice today, so... hacking the comms is actually our best bet. Sure, you could wander, but the Lodic Syndicate runs this place. Surely you can learn everything you need to know by tuning into their chatter. I have some good options here, so... It seems the Syndicate knows much of what happens here, but they also have their blind spots. You have a good sense of which passages to wander and which to avoid in this steaming vertical city. Dirty, wet, and thriving, the Cut is a layered industrial city that is as intimidating as its inhabitants. Amazing to think this place supplies most of the belt's water. Bliss looks across the cutwater at the workers in their distinctive yellow gear. No wonder the Syndicate runs it like a corporation. Look at those gathered in the low-ceilinged bar, gathered around cushioned couches and low magnetic tables, their voices bouncing off the metal walls. All of them wear Lodic clothing, a mark of their status as contracted for the belt's most powerful syndicate. At the far side of the bar, you spot Eugen, perched at a magnetic table with a bunch of miners. He appears to be playing some kind of local dice game, although given the amount of alcohol involved, it's hard to tell if gambling or drinking is the focus. You look back to Bliss, who was watching another group, quietly discussing something serious in the opposite corner. I mean, they get the job done. Bliss turns back to the bar, and sips their drink through its metal straw. Well, that's the thing. We're looking around Chasm Row, searching out components in the markets. Down there, people don't seem so happy. Bliss meets your eye. A lot of talk of contracts. Seems Lodic's been locking down its workers, giving the war in the inner system as an excuse. They play with their metal straw, swirling the orbs of liquid in their sealed glass. Pressure is building, sleeper. Shouldn't hang around here much longer. They sigh. Well, we need to give Serafin time. Well, Bliss raised an eyebrow. Sal's not the only outsider who's been hanging out in Chasm Row. Heard someone complaining about a rude young man asking too many questions. Bliss smiles. Who else could that be? They laugh. Last place to start if you want to find our boy. They said he was asking about the rhyme market, but I have no idea what that is. Bliss looks out across the bar. Definitely a touchy subject for locals, though. I'll head there now. Bliss nods. I'll finish my drink. They smile. Let me know how it goes. You leave the cutwater, shouldering your way through a crowd of boisterous contractors. There's a conspiratorial mood to the conversations now that Bliss has mentioned it. You wonder what all the talk is about. You hear a bellowing laugh from Eugen as you slip out of the door. Better leave him to it. You feel the sudden cold as you leave the seeming bar and enter one of the icy passages cut into the asteroid itself. All this water in the hands of a single syndicate. Something goes wrong here. The belt will die of thirst long before the war reaches it. You turn up the collar of your jacket against the cold and head for Chasm Row. Lodic Depot. I can buy fuel here. I can do a depot shift. I need to get cryo. The Cutwater. I can buy a meal or work a shift there. Chasm Row. Steaming Main Street. Find the Rhyme Market, or I can buy supplies. It's always good to have my supplies full. Bliss said Serafin was hunting for the Rhyme Market. Whatever it is, you'll need to get to know the area and its hidden ways to find it. Serafin was apparently asking about the Rhyme Market, whatever that is. Find it and you'll find your pilot. I mean, we kinda do need a pilot to get out of here. You pay a street hawker to guide you to the entrance, but they lose you in an alley. An old trick. Okay, same thing. Do the rig. Have a nap. Mm. You notice graphic markings on some of the shop fronts and heaters. Perhaps they lead somewhere. Well, follow the graffiti and you'll find something. Alright, let's just use this 6 die and just finish this. A dark corroded door lies in front of you. The markings on it are right. This is the place. The markets of Chasm Row have become familiar in the past cycles. Their steaming, orange-lit depths, persistent condensation on each unit's windows, the gleam of the amber workers' suits, each contributing to the particular atmosphere of this buried city. But among this, you have noticed other details too. The freelance crew is on the hunt for illicit tech, the conversing workers who drop to a whisper when you pass, the light flickering up through floor grates, suggesting ever deeper layers. These are the details you have followed to the Rhyme Market, a place discussed in hushed tones in dimly lit rooms, and, as you drift towards what you know to be one of its entrances, the door bursts open in front of you. A large, dark bundle glides out of the door and impacts the metal wall of the passage with an echoing bang. Your eyes are drawn by the imposing figure that hovers in the doorway, bracing himself on the frame. "Stay out of the Rhyme Market, rat." The man sends out an orb of spit, spitting after the bundle. Actually, I'm gonna make him Scottish. "Stay out of the Rhyme Market, rat." There you go, I like that. Serafin. Oh, negative outcome. You hesitate, seeing the hard anger brewing in Serafin's eyes, and you reach him a moment too late. He catches you as he kicks off from the wall with a swinging fist, sending you reeling back while he smashes into the man. The two tumble in a flurry of blows, slamming into the door frame until the man gets his legs between him and Serafin and kicks him into the wall. Serafin hits hard and floats away, a few crimson bubbles of blood drifting from his bust lip. I mean, go to him. You glide over to Serafin as he shakes himself awake. Put yourself between him and the figure. "Know when you're beaten, rat," the man calls out. "It's time to go home and lick your wounds." Serafin exhales in frustration, his anger fading, replaced by the stinging pain of his injuries. You watch a perfectly round blob of blood form at the bottom of his nose. Want to explain what's happening? "For the record," the man folds his arms, "this one started it." He looks between the two of you, "Snooping around our meeting like a rat." You see his sharp eyes recalculating the situation since your arrival. "Hey, hydrate. Thank you very much, Bubbles." "Cheers to Bubs." It's not water, but I'm drinking from my protein drink. I was at the gym today. My protein drink is mostly water. I mix it with just protein powder and water, so I think that counts for a hydration. Muscle hydration. I wasn't snooping. No, wait, that's not. I wasn't snooping. I'm looking for someone. Serafin glares. "If you'd taken a minute to talk to me before throwing a punch, maybe you would have got that." The man scratched at his beard, squinting at Serafin. "Say I believe you. What are you doing at the meeting then? Missing persons ain't our business." "All I heard is this is where the loaded contractors meet," Serafin sighs. "Don't like you hearing that. Not at all. Not gonna need to ask you who told you that later." He straightens up. "Aye, this is where the contractors meet, as if that's anything to you." "The person I'm looking for is a contractor." Serafin's frustration rises again. "He was a coven named Luz." He pauses, at desperation entering his voice. "Please, I think she might be my sister." Something changes in the man's stance. He holds up a massive hand to silence Serafin and looks down the passage in both directions. "Not here." He retreats through the door. "Get in." As you both enter, he reaches past you and slams the metal door behind, spinning the locking wheel with one hand. "I'm Kirk," he grunts, pointing at himself with a thick thumb. "Contractors are my concern. If loaded catches us discussing contracts out there." He shakes his head. He turns, leads you down the passage. You pass an open door and you glance inside to see a group gathered in a circle, all of them in workers' clothes. They're speaking in hushed voices. One of them exchanges a nod with Kirk. Let's not interrupt the meeting anymore, shall we? He glares playfully at Serafin, who remains silent. Kirk leads you to the side of a massive vertical metal pipe, with a rough hole cut in the side. He beckons you both inside. You descend through the pipe in silence and darkness. Suddenly, you come out through the ceiling of a wide and low hall. As far as you can see, crooked stalls and makeshift shelters dot the grilled floor, lit by scavenged lanterns and light strips. Steam drifts up through the grates, concealing the room so that you cannot see the walls. Welcome to the Rhine Market. Cook gestures a thick hand at the ramshackle interior. Lodok don't know about this place. He smiles. Let's get a drink. He leads you off to a nearby stall with a set of improvised stools welded to the floor in front. He hooks his leg onto one, and you and Serafin follow suit. He holds up 3 fingers to the stall's owner, and a drink in a straw-pierced packet is handed to each of you. Serafin looks skeptically at the drink. We friends now or something? No, I'm not having that. Serafin looks skeptically at the drink. We friends now or something? Look, Kirk takes a sip. I ain't gonna apologize putting you on your arse. That's on you. Like I said, I represent the contractors. If someone's part of the family, well, he shrugs his massive shoulders. They deserve to be heard out at least. You know who we're looking for? Luz, he said. I know a Luz, sure. Describe her. Kirk leans back on a stool. I'm not giving you anything more until you prove she's your sister. Serafin closes his eyes. Dark hair, used to wear it long, messy, broad eyes, broad shoulders. See a little twitch around his eyes, he recalls. Tough but kind. Tattoos, nervous laugh. He opens his eyes and glares at Kirk. That enough? Kirk sniffs. Aye, that's her. You feel something jump in Serafin, an almost imperceptible tension rising. It's her. His sister. Luz, Kirk speaks slowly, drinking between. Or whatever her real name is one of the contractors here. He's part of the most recent contract Lodok registered. That means... Just tell me where she is, Serafin demands, his impatience getting the better of him. That's what I was saying, Kirk gives Serafin a pointed look. Those new contractors are restricted to the pithead. In fact, that's what we were discussing when you interrupted our meeting. Serafin looks away in frustration, but holds his tongue. Since the war, Lodok Syndicate has been trying to lock down Wellspring, and from a loose association of mining groups to an autocracy, started enforcing contracts with some seriously overreaching terms. Your sister, she's on one of those contracts. Lodok are acting like they own her and the others because, according to their contracts, they do. It's exactly what we want to do something about. This cycle, he forcefully taps the bar with a finger. We're voting on strike action and a full blockade of Flotsam. We will bring the Syndicate to the table, too. Serafin knocks his drink away and kicks off from the table, disappearing into the market. I mean, I gotta get him. You catch up with Serafin in the bustle of the Rhine market, among the steam and crowds. I can't have been the only one who saw his pitch coming a mile off. Serafin is bristling with anger. What kind of idiots do you think we are? Is that what this is about? This is about getting my sis out of whatever mess she's gotten into. Serafin starts to push through the crowd towards the exit tunnel. I need to speak to Lodok. Forget these clowns. He shoves his way forward. We don't need to get tied up in this. We just need to get her out. Serafin forges on ahead. You get caught in the crowd behind him. As he disappears from view, a heavy hand falls on your back. I want to help you, sleeper. Kirk's bright eyes meet yours. Syndicate will do nothing for him or for you. Trust me. I need your help in return, Kirk sighs. I want to help. Good, Kirk nods. I knew you would. Kirk placed the plastic pass card into your hand. It glints with the mark of the Lodok Syndicate, a blurry ID photo laminated into its transparent interior. Get into the pithead. You can see for yourself what's happening there. Don't follow your friend to Lodok. Go to the pithead. Find Luz yourself. It meets your eye. When you do, come back to me and discuss how to free her and everyone else like her. Go to Lodok. You meet with them. We can't help you. He releases your forearm and drifts back into the crowd, disappearing into the steam and darkness. You float there for a moment, buffeted by passing people, clutching onto the Lodic Pass, trying to decide what to do next. So, the Rhyme Market. Oh, I can buy rare components. Solheim shakes his head. He doesn't have what you need, so I can only get the one component. Well, one's better than none. Lodic operations. Serafin wants to meet with the syndicate bosses to negotiate his sister's release. He needs your help. Getting a meeting with the higher ranking members of the Lodic Syndicate is a challenge, but you aren't giving up. So I either negotiate a meeting, or I can go into the Wellspring pithead. With a Lodic pass, like any of the workers or syndicate members carry, you should be able to gain access. So I've done the whole Lodic pass stuff on a couple of previous runs. I don't know what it's like to do the Lodic operations route, so I do think this is probably the worst option, but I want to give it a try. You and Serafin are laughed off by Syndicate security. Will this ever work? I should probably use... I mean, yeah. I'm fine. Do this. You manage to get inside and speak to a secretary, but they aren't very helpful. Buy a meal, fill up our energy. Back to the rig. We have better dice for it today. Same results as last time. You're promised a meeting, but it is postponed to crisis talks. This is going nowhere. Okay. This is progressing at a rate. I'll take it. Okay. In the cycle. Let's buy another meal. We're low on energy. Speaking of another secretary. Man. Let's just finish this up. You have your meeting and Serafin's patience is threadbare. Serafin glides ahead of you into the domed interior of Lodic operations. All around you, different administration units like shipping containers are stacked in clumped groups. Each assemblage of containers is marked with a sigil and a color, a marker of the Syndicate's origins as a conglomerate of multiple independent mining crews. You aren't headed for any of these symbolic modules. Instead, you move towards a central steel-gray cylinder ringed with windows, the main administrative body of the Syndicate's joint operations. The way this gray monolith towers over the other units seems to tell the story of where the Lodic Syndicate has ended up better than any history could. Serafin leads you through the doors, into the lobby. He has a driven energy you don't remember seeing before, although you wonder if this is how he was in the cycles that led up to your escape. You're not sure you'll ever know. As you both enter, you immediately see a figure waiting for you. I believe you have an inquiry about a... His eyes drift to you when you recognize their sharpness. Ah, we've met before. Glad to see you made it. Malik smirks slightly. I don't believe you contribute to that outcome, unfortunately. Serafin cuts in impatiently. This isn't about us. It's about my sister. The contractor is your sister. Malik looks between the two of you. I see. Well, if you're willing to pay off her contract, I could see that she was released. Don't you pay her? Well, yes, Malik pauses. But she is signed for a minimum term. If she were to break this contract, the full value of said contract would become due. He shows you his palms. She knows this. Not to mention that, as the Lotex Syndicate has become the chief water provider in the belt since the inner system war began, all minimum term contracts are locked in until the point. Serafin holds up a hand and Malik trails off. Just tell us how much. Malik speaks slowly, burning time. I would need to discuss this with our supervising manager, but we are talking about thousands of cryo and extraction value being lost to. Suddenly, a bright and harsh alarm sounds inside the Lodic building. A comms transmitter on Malik's belt begins to chirp with static and rapid voices. You listen to his ear, turning away from both of you. He speaks in hushed tones as you and Serafin exchange glances. He turns back, his eyes darting between you with new nervousness. I'm sorry, we'll have to continue this another time. There's an urgent situation at the pit head. He turns to leave. We haven't finished, Malik. No, you aren't backing out of this. Serafin cuts you off. You know how long it took us to get to speak to someone? I am sorry, this is an urgent situation. Malik shrugs apologetically. I need to go. What situation? Serafin's anger is growing. Malik sighs. A strike has been called at the pit head, effective immediately. The contractors are attempting to blockade Wellspring. He looks over his shoulder toward the door. Seems to have taken control of some of our tankers. You see something change in Serafin's face, his anger becoming a quiet determination. We can help. He stares Malik down. We can break the blockade. You look across at him, but he doesn't break his stare from Malik. Serafin, what are you saying? He ignores you. Lord doesn't need to get their hands dirty here. Let us do it. You see a calculation taking place in Malik's mind, analyzing the outcomes, the advantages and disadvantages. I can imagine your terms. A smirk crossed his lips. How could you achieve this? No way they have enough ships to blockade this place. Serafin is thinking on his feet. A bet is there's a gap. We need to find it. Then, once we mark the route, it's business as usual, and they can't do a thing about it. A smile slowly spreads across Malik's face. It's a sensible gambit, he pauses. Of course, if you want complete deniability, if you find us a route through the blockade, your sister is free. Serafin nods. That's a deal. We need to be able to navigate the debris field. I will instruct our ship fitters to equip you with a HasNav suite. They will install it immediately. Consider it a deposit for the job. Malik's comlink squawks again. I have to go. You do this, and I will give you what you want. With that, he lifts the receiver to his ear and glides away into the interior of the building. Serafin is silent as you leave, heading back out into the wide dome. Lodic members rushing back and forth across it. You really want to break a strike? I don't love it. Since when do we have the luxury of choosing a contract? Serafin makes for the exit. Do what we can for our own. That's it. As you fall behind, you wonder where this path will take you. Is Malik to be trusted? You don't know. You have the sinking feeling you are too far in to back out now. Yeah, well. So, when I've played this game previously, I've done the route of going through with Kirk. This is going to be a new angle for me. Because I don't know I just don't know how this is going to go. But I know where Lou stands with the contractors. Alright. Tala released. The section of the debris field is the only possible route to the blockade. It needs to be scouted before tankers can be sent through. Alright, confirm the vector. Doing a scouting mission. I'm probably going to want Eugen and Bliss. Her intuition and engineering skills can be useful, and then Eugen with his engage and endure. I think I can cover what Junie can do, though. Wait, back. Alright, Bliss and Eugen. Let's go. Last leg, sleeper. Serafin brings the ship to a slow stop near a scattering of asteroids surrounded by rocky debris. For the past cycle, you have been working your way through the maze of the debris field. Your new Hasnav suite guiding you on a path large enough for a loaded tanker to squeeze through. Now, as the field narrows for its terminus, you're at the final thin corridor that will mark the route's end. 3 more beacons, then it's done. Serafin sighs. He has been unusually quiet on this journey. You can sense there is something eating away at him with each beacon placed. What's bothering you? He takes a deep breath, and you feel for a moment that he is eager to stay silent, shut you down. Then something small and significant within him breaks. He begins to speak. My sister's name. Her real name is Tala. He pauses. And what's bothering me is that in all this, no one could care less about her. Lodic and this council of workers are at war over Wellspring, not over Tala, not over the people, but over the power. Nothing anyone says can convince me otherwise. He sniffs. I'm sick to death of it. I'll be happy when we're far away from here and Tala is safe. That's it. Serafin goes silent, and the silence grows unbearably. Last 3 beacons are prepped and down the hold, Serafin flatly states. Last part of the job is to find 3 good rocks, stick 'em in. You have to guide those tankers to the open space beyond. Get it done. He leans back and closes his eyes. You slip out of the corridor and glide down to the airlock. Bliss is getting suited up. As much as I'm happy for that Hasnav Lodic gifted us, Bliss sighs. I'm not sure it's worth becoming a strikebreaker for it. You shoot you a look. Feels like we're on the wrong side of this thing, sleeper, if I can be honest here. We're doing what we need to. Picking sides is a luxury, right? Bliss sighs. Doesn't make it feel any better, though. Don't overthink it, sleeper. Eugen drifts into the room and pulls out his suit. Better chart a moral path through the belt and you won't last a cycle, he shrugs. We're free and one of our own. That's what matters. Lodic and Kirk's council loom large in your mind as you get ready. 2 systems grinding against each other and you caught in the middle. What more can you do than look after your own? You slide in your suit. Time to finish the job. Empty asteroid, split asteroid. Alright, what can we do here? Alright, so my interface will be useful here. Scanning by sector makes for a more detailed picture of the asteroid. This process will speed things up. Alright. A more aggressive approach to finding a site for the beacon is to make one by cutting a shaft into the rock to find the solid core. Alright, I'm gonna have Eugen give a go at this. Alright, it worked. A solid rocky section of core has been found close to the surface, the perfect beacon site. A solid rocky substrate is needed to make sure the beacon on this asteroid is securely fixed in place. Plant nav beacon. The site has been chosen, I just need to plant the nav beacon that the tankers will use to navigate the corridor. Alright, the split asteroid. Construct shielding or clear debris. Rather than battle with the dangerous debris, it may be possible to create a shield for the beacon site out of scrap. The beacon of this asteroid will need to be shielded from the rain of debris that swirls around the rock. Right, Bliss, this one's on you. This is your project. The shield takes shape. Its angled scrap plates ideal for deflecting debris. Piece by piece, the shield slowly comes together. Meanwhile, we can have Eugen do some debris clearing. This fractured asteroid is surrounded by a cloud of debris. Clearing some of it will help create a safe site for the beacon. The debris clears and the rock starts to look like a good site for a beacon. I'm gonna reroll my dice. At 6 and 2. 6 I can definitely make use of. The 2... I'll see if there's anything else around here I could potentially use. Can I do anything here with my 2? No, I don't get any pluses, anything. This is one we're working on right now, so I'll just give it a go. The old college try never hurts. Hey, never punished. Sweet. Back to the rig and the cycle. Alright. Alright, Bliss, give it a go. 50-50, I'll take the coin flip. Ow. Well, the coin flip never gonna fail me twice, right? Ow. Damn you, coin flip. I was given the wrong type of coin, you know? Alright, Eugen, go for it. Alright. +2 and a stress. This is good enough. Hey, a site clear debris and somewhat shielded has been created for the beacon. Alright, plant the nav beacon. Sleba, come to the rig. You need to hear this. The message comes cold and clipped through your comms. You make a beeline for the ship. As you drift through the debris, you try not to let your imagination get the better of you. Did the lane come all the way out here? Surely not. Even so, a cold shiver runs down your spine. You rush into the cockpit, your suit still on, to find Serafin sitting quietly in the flight seat, a voice booming around the room. Sleeper! Kirk's voice crackles. You must be traveling some distance. I know that's you. Speak to me, please. Serafin looks back at you. Looks like a friend is getting desperate. Shakes his head. What do you want to do? Answer the call. See what he's saying. Serafin presses the transmit button, and you let Kirk know you're listening. Sleeper, I knew you would see sense. Kirk takes a breath. I know what Lodic promised you. I know you're out there trying to find a way to bypass the blockade. I also know I can't stop you. From what I can see, you have 2 beacons in place. We have no ships to spare. So be very sure that I'm not threatening you. But I do have someone here. Someone like to speak to you and that scrappy pilot of yours. You and Serafin exchange puzzled glancing. What is he playing at? Sarah? A soft voice comes through the speakers, wavering as it does. Sarah, are you there? Serafin freezes, his eyes wide, his head down. It's her. It's his sister. Wait for him to speak. You wait. Serafin does not move. Sarah, I know it's you. I've been looking for you. Maybe you know that too. Another pause. It's how I ended up here, working for Lodic. Doesn't matter now though, Sarah. Because Turk told me what you're out there doing, and that you think you're doing it for me. Transmission stutters and distorts. Realize it must be coming from Wellspring. Sarah, I'd like to tell you to stop. The cockpit is deathly still. You only sound the rumble of white noise on the open channel. I'm not the only one suffering. If you support Lodic, then... Serafin's hand comes down hard on the console. Transmission goes silent. You hear his breath heavy in the quiet cockpit. She's right, Sarah. Serafin is shaking his head. No. He closed his eyes, breathing deeply. It was her. It was definitely my sister. He takes a breath. That's all we know. Kirk could be manipulating her. Could be forcing her to speak. Serafin stumbles over his words. We know he will do anything to stop us if... He trails off, unable to complete the thought. You aren't thinking. She's my sister! He shakes his head. This is on me! Serafin meets your eye, and you see the fear in him. Hala doesn't want this. Something what you say seems to snap Serafin out of his thoughts. Serafin frowns the debris field in the cockpit windows. Led us astray, Sleeper. We shouldn't be out here, Serafin sighs. We can't be out here. Hala is right. This is not how this should end. He looks down at his hands, rubbing them together, and up at the cockpit windows. Leaving, sleeper. Call everyone back. Now. You should call Tala. Oh, I'm gonna do one bit. Serafin begins the startup process for the rig's main drive. We're gonna go see her. You nod. This job is over. Alright. Let's get back to Wellspring. The cut thrums with tension. This steaming city and its brash inhabitants have quieted. Not to silence, to a low rumble of conversation. The blockade is holding. The syndicate is waning. Everywhere there are plans to be made. You and Serafin float idly in Chasm Row, many stories deep in this wound in Wellspring's side, waiting on Kirk, not far from the first place you met him, a meeting Serafin still has lingering bruises from. Not much has passed between the two of you since you abandoned the loaded contract midway through and burned back to Wellspring. Half expected to be arrested on arrival, but it seems the loaded syndicate is too caught up in the current crisis to notice you. Or perhaps Malik never expected you to fulfill the deal in the first place. Maybe you were just a sideshow to the struggle ahead, potential boon but little more. Either way, it seems Serafin's mind is on one thing and one thing alone. His sister. You hope his frosty silence is a side effect of that, not a reflection of your relationship. Because without him, you realize, you really will be alone in the belt. Alright, we're on. Kirk comes out of a passage nearby, nodding to the two of you to follow. He leads you both into the Rhine Market passageways. This time, not to the steaming market hall that lies beneath the deepest streets, but to a cramped room walled with pipes and rusted panels. Just a little longer. You do not see a boat. Hold here. He exchanges a serious look with you before pushing off and gliding back out of the room. You watch Kirk go, your relationship having settled into a quiet and mutual respect. His eyes are on bigger things now, workers' councils and contract negotiations, and you know that. Perhaps one cycle ahead you will find a moment to drink together once again, discuss everything that has happened. For now, Kirk has other things on his mind. Serafin settles again. You shoot him a look, but his focus is elsewhere. His eyes glazed over. You fold your arms and wait. Sarah. Tala enters so quietly that in the dim room you barely notice her. You look at Tala, her eyes bright, but her manner withdrawn. For the first time as you do, she meets your eye. You see a flicker of recognition there. It is something silent, something subtle, but you feel it. Tala! Serafin says her name like a sigh, like an exhale. He's shaking his head, his eyes already shining with uncontrollable emotion. She rushes across the room, flying into Serafin at speed. They embrace, softly spinning in the dust and dark, their fingers dug into each other's backs. They separate, a couple of pristine spheres of briny tears spinning away through the air as they do. You're safe, Serafin nods, taking a breath. I'm safe. She smiles reassuringly, settling him. And in this setting, this gesture of care, see a whole network of signs and secrets. Tala is the calm Serafin storm, the big sister who eases his heart. She looks him up and down. Yeah, you're so big, Sarah. She laughs at her own statement. You've grown up. She tries to make it sound approving rather than patronizing. You're just the same, sister. Serafin shakes his head. Calling me big would make me feel small. The moment the statement leaves his lips, you feel a chill in the room. You aren't sure if he meant it. Tala flinches a little, hurt but not wanting to show it. I came to find ya. Tala tries again. I needed to find ya. Serafin looks torn, and you see in him something you have come to recognize. The slow and careful raising of his defenses. Why now? He looks away. Been a long time, Tala. Mom and Dad finally decide they want me to come home. A ripple of emotion runs through Tala, one she can't hide. Sarah, they're... after you left, they're gone. She sighs. I thought you would have... She struggles to find the words. It's been a long time. It has. Serafin sets his face into a stern look of control. You know he is raging inside, and in this moment you feel closer to him than you have felt in a while. Tala folds her arms, trying to regain a little control of the exchange. It's good to see you, Sarah. So good. You know what is coming. You see Serafin brace for it too. But I can't leave with you. She looks pained. It isn't easy for her either. Serafin can only nod, dulling acceptance washing over him. I wanted to find you, and I have. I can see you're strong, and, well, and... She shoots you a glance. You have your life here. But the people here, other contractors, they were the ones who found me. Kept me going till I ended up here. Desperate and alone. He smiles warmly. It's not that I owe them. It's that they're my family too. He gently places a hand on his shoulder. I know you understand this. He smiles at you. You'll find our families out here. Serafin smiles a rare smile, his eyes wet. We do, sister. He embraces her again. They separate, and Tala turns her attention to you. I know you take care of me, brother Sleeper. She smiles. Cook told me about your crew. She approaches and puts a hand on your shoulder. I can see you building something of value on that ship of yours. I hope so. She nods and takes her hand away. She folds her arms again, her sense of control returning. There's a wisdom and experience to Tala that brings a certain calm to you, and you feel that now. Will you two be staying here for a while, or... Tala looks between you and Serafin. Serafin cuts in before you can answer. Not long, he smiles. We have our own freedom to find. Tala nods. Just be aware, you're free to pass the blockade. But after that, she sighs. Wellspring's gonna be locked down for a little while, at least until Kirk can establish his cancel. Next time you come, she smiles proudly, this will be a very different place. Hearing Tala say this, you suddenly see the authority in her, and realize that one of those council seats may well have her name on it. You look between the two of them and realize they have years to catch up on, and they'd probably rather do that without you watching. You nod to them and slip out of the room, a lilting conversation starting up the moment you leave. As you follow the twisting corridors back up to Chasm Row, you smile to yourself at the thought of Tala and Serafin reunited at last. You hope this whole adventure will make Serafin a little less moody, even though you know deep down it'll probably make him worse. On your way to the rig, you pass a tired-looking Eugen. We heading out? He sighs. I'm not sure I've got another chit left to wager. How much did you lose? He squinted his finger for a second, making calculations. Too much, he shrugs. I'm gonna strap myself in for a nap. He disappears into the berths. Later in the cycle, Serafin quietly comes back to the rig. He immediately settles himself in the cockpit and starts running diagnostics on the engine. He looks up as you enter and shoots you a smile. Good to see you up here, Sleeper. I'm getting ready to head out. Are you sure you want to leave? Yeah, think so. He flicks a sequence of switches. Don't want to get too settled. Sleeper. Serafin turns to face you. Thank you. He smiles. Well, appreciate you bringing us all the way out of here. I won't forget it. Will Tala be okay? He's found a place here, and I'm really happy for her. He looks away out of the cockpit windows at Wellspring. She always was the responsible one. I was always the one running away. Guess some things never change. Serafin quietly watches the diagnostics complete. A subtle smile on his lips. One thing's for sure. You've been here too long. Serafin meets your eye. Been seen by too many people. Wellspring may be far out of Utsubo territory. I'm sure the Lane will find a way to reach his nasty claws out of you given enough time. It's not given the chance. Hey, guys? Bliss's voice echoes up the passage into the cockpit. They lean in the door, looking between the two of you. Two contractors just dumped a load of fuel outside our ship. Said it was a gift. You and Serafin look at each other. Gotta be Kirk. Serafin gets up. It's either a thank you or his way of telling us to get going. No, I'm changing that line. It's either a thank you or his way of telling us to fuck off. Pick off. Serafin kicks off and glides out of the cockpit. Hey, so... Bliss smiles. Well, you two have been busy, so have I. Been looking at the rig's drive, but I reckon it's due an upgrade. We need engine components. Quite a few, so keep an eye out. Bliss shrugs. Shipyard's gonna be a good place to look. Shipyards, got it. Right, Bliss sighs. Better go help Serafin with that fuel. As Bliss leaves the cockpit, you find yourself lost in thought, considering your next step while the icy expanse of Wellspring glitters below. Oh shit, full tank. You are free to leave Wellspring. You now have a HasNav unit installed and can freely travel through debris fields on the belt map. Sweet. Well, let's refill on our cryo. Or on our supplies. Can I have that from the cut water? No. Would Chasm Row sell supplies? Yes, they do. Find all kinds of produce in Chasm Row, so with a bit of work and bartering, you can assemble your own pack supplies. Sweet. Fill her up. I believe I got everything I can from the Ryan Market. Alright. For engine upgrade, we need 8 components. I have 5, so we need 3 more. And we can probably find 3 somewhere in the belt. It's a big place. Alright. So before we get going, I'm just gonna tell you a little fun, interesting story. So Tala is actually an NPC from the first Citizen Sleeper. She runs the Overlook Bar, which at a certain point in the game gets renamed to the Bantayan, I believe is what it's called. So I really like Tala in the first game. She's one of the few people who helps you out when you're a sleeper trying to find their feet in Erlin's Eye. And you end up working with Tala, you like basically redesign the bar, you get it set up as a microbrewery as well as like a kitchen that you can use. So the Bantayan becomes like a really comfortable home base in Erlin's Eye, first game. What I didn't know until the DLC was Tala actually leaves Erlin's Eye with the refugees. Like, she joins up with the Singers, this group of like a rogue flotilla type, a whole bunch of gathered, quick, nimble, small refugee ships, basically all piloting their own rigs. She joins up with them to go into the Starward belt and find her own path out here. In this game, it's revealed she was looking for Serafin, who, similar to his sister, was one of the earliest NPCs we meet in the game. In the playthrough I've done on my own time with the first Citizen Sleeper game, my sleeper is currently still in Erlin's Eye. They took over the Bantayan after Tala left. So this quest I really like, because it's a thing with all of the potential endings in the first Citizen Sleeper, that they're kind of all canon in a way. Like, Bliss knew a sleeper, Tala knew a sleeper. They both knew the same sleeper, because that was a sleeper from Erlin's Eye that we played in the first game. I just think that's really neat.